What is up, YouTube? This is 3rd Battalion, aka Brigade, and I am half of 8-Bit Co-op. Not the good half either. Today I'm just doing a quick video um, showing some Archeage footage. We got our house done, and we get our clipper done, as well as discuss some of the problems that are plaguing Archeage right now. There's a lot of animosity towards Tryon. People saying that they have botched this launch, and I don't blame people for the animosity. Um, so me and my wife, we logged into the game as soon as the servers came up. Blah, we were logged in and everything, and first thing we saw was there was a queue. The servers had been up for 45 seconds maybe, and we were slapped in a queue. And I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. I've never seen, I've never been in a queue in this game before. So we sat there, we were like, okay, fine, it's good to go. A lot of people, bum rushing the servers, and I guess this is their way of slowly allowing people to come in the game, so servers don't crash. Everything was good to go. That was not the case. Any rate, so we get into the game, we start playing, and we were just plagued by crash after crash after disconnect after disconnect, and it got pretty ridiculous. Now, we had a master plan within our guild, Zeal, and we were all gonna, do the land grab and Mariana Pole and do all this stuff. But because of the disconnects and the trouble getting into the game, by the time we got in the game, we had people in our guild that were like level 17, level 18. By the time we got to actually start playing really well, and a large majority of our guild had already gotten land in Mariana Pole. So we were like, okay, backup plan, we're going to just do it in Soul Read, because we were originally going to do it in Souls Read to begin with, but the guild was like, hey, yeah, we're going to do it here, and we were like, that's a great idea, we'll do it as a guild, we'll be all coordinated in one spot, and we were unable to do that. So we ended up setting up here, which we ended up getting a pretty good deal, because, we ended up getting a house, as you see here. We got a large farm. We had it set up to where we were going to have, the way we had positioned our houses and our farms, we were going to get 2 large farms, the house, and 4 small farms. But due to the disconnects, we lost one of the spots to our farm, that farm to the left there, that I'm looking at, we lost that. So the person, he threw down a farm there, and we lost the ability to plant our second big farm. So all in all, we lost out on the big farm. No big deal, But another problem that they were having was there was a lot of people that were patrons that played they paid $150, and we got a bunch of looky-loos here. Rising On, actually, we were at war with them for a little bit, but yeah, they came, and we had a little crowd going on when we were doing our house. At any rate, so these people that had paid $150 for their founder status, or their patron status, they didn't get their patron status. So some of them couldn't even get in a head start. Others that got in a head start, they weren't allowed to get land. So they got screwed out of the land grab. That's one of the big reasons for all the animosity. People feel that they've been cheated. They didn't get what they paid for. You got people like, oh, you paid the $150 to get into the alpha and all this. Well, yeah, that was a perk, but we paid for the in-game items. We paid for the chest, then we paid for the head start, we paid for the credits. That's what we paid for. That's what a lot of people paid for. And some people just didn't get that. So there are a lot of people that are upset. So now you have a large number of people that are upset, and you compound that with the constant disconnects and the insanely long queues. These queues are up to 6 hours. So people are angry, and people, you got these reviews that are going out online, and people are like, oh, stay away from Archeage, it's a bad game, blah blah blah. It's not a bad game. However, they're saying this because they haven't been able to actually play. And you can't how can you review a game if you can't play? Well, if you can't play the game, you can't review it. Therefore, it's not a good game. It makes sense, but it doesn't. If you think about it, yeah, they're right. I mean, if you can't get in to play the game to see how good it is, well, it's not very good. That's not a good way to start off a game. So right now, Tryon's kind of in a little bit of hot water, but for me personally, and 8-bit, we're gonna stick it out. We got in with a good guild, good group of people. We're having fun. Um, we're way behind the power curve due to the disconnects, and I'm getting really, really bad lag for some reason. 8-bit's not getting it, and I've seen the specs on my computer in an earlier video. I have a computer. We designed both these computers specifically for this game. They were tailored for this game. We found, okay, this is the minimum requirements, this is the maximum requirements. Took the maximum requirements and went 2 steps above that. So we had the most, top of the line graphics card, 780 Ti, 32 gigabytes RAM. Our motherboard is super fast. We got a DDR hard drive, 250 gigs or something like that. So we got the game set up for we got the computer set up for this game, so we shouldn't be having issues. At any rate, so that's the problem right now with Archeage. Is it severe enough to cause people to quit playing? Yes, it is. If Tryon doesn't get a handle on it very soon, a lot of people are going to stop playing, or they're going to unsub. They'll probably come back later. I have no doubts that people will come back later, to see if things are better. But when they do come back later, they may or may not stick around, because you got to figure right now, a majority of this game, a big, big part of this game is land grab. It is not necessary to play. You don't need it, because I know several people that don't have land, that never, in alpha they didn't have land, but they're gonna leave and come back, and even if they had land before, their option to get land isn't gonna be there, or it might be in a PvP area, and people just don't like to get land in PvP areas, because picking strawberries, picking cotton, and you get killed, and nobody likes that. You already got people, patrons griefing the free to players already, which, hey, it's a PvP game. People knew what they were getting into. It's gonna happen. It's not grief. People were being kind of asses, but it is what it is. So people are gonna leave. They're gonna come back, and they're gonna stick around for a little bit. And they're like, "Well, we have no land. There's no point in staying. We can't do some of this stuff." Blah 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 blah, and they may leave again. So I believe Tryon, with this launch, kind of shot themselves in the foot. Um, I could see a way of fixing this. I'm not sure how much work it would entail. You see that day 3. You see, we had guild members that were already 50. This is well, actually, this is 17 hours of playing. Anyway, so you got this issue where they can create another server and then go, okay, people from this server, you can transfer to this server. And what you do is they just copy your character, your stuff, your land, and move it to another server. And they they offer it to individual people on this, on that server. That way, there will be no competition for land, because if you try to offer a character transfer from a person from one server, from server A, and you go, hey, server B, you can transfer to server C. Well, what if, the person on server A and server B both have, a house in the same spot? Who gets the land? And it's not fair to be like, oh, well, first come, first serve. The other person, then, they get dumped on, and they got to do the land grab all over, and, it's a terrible mess. That's the only way I can see them doing the whole addition of the servers and having it work out. But other than that, I mean, it's right now, there's some people that are in a rough spot. We got lucky even with the disconnects. We had 2 people playing, and we were able to get some of the stuff we needed. And with a good guild, we were able to you know, get the materials we needed to get our farm. I think we ended up being short some grapes. I planted grapes on the outside of my farm for, I don't know what I was thinking. And they got stolen, and then we were, trying to do land grab it, and that kind of hurt. And then they were like, hey, um, we got some grapes, blah blah blah. Well, what ended up happening is um, we had enough grapes for my wife to get her farm, so she went and got it. And then when we got done, I think I was short 7 grapes. Somebody sent me 7 grapes, so I just did my pack and took it, the next day. But yeah, right now having a lot of fun with the game. It is really rough though with the lag and the constant disconnects to keep playing and be the hard charger and do all this stuff. Frustrating, yes. Game breaking, probably, but I mean, this game it's not designed for a super casual person. You're gonna have to get good and get what you want in this game. You're gonna have to put in time. And me and my wife, we're gonna stick around. But for those people that are upset, well-founded, understandable. You have every right to be upset. I'm a little upset myself because the head start, we literally could not get in the game for a total of 24 hours because with a disconnect, and we went to sleep, woke up, we got in queue. Then there was this issue with the queues where you would go in queue and it would disconnect you from queue, and then it would restart you back in the queue. And we got to like, the queue was like 1,700 people, right? And we were in the queue for like 3 hours. We were watching a movie or something. We came back. It was like, okay, cool. So we're sitting there. We're at like 24, and it got to 19, and we both disconnected. And when we got back into the game, it was 2,600 people, and we were just like, "Oh my God, you're kidding!" So we stopped playing at night, because we couldn't get in. And then you know, it is what it is. Yeah, launch woes. Some of it is. Some of it maybe a little bit of mismanagement. I mean, there are some bugs that I've reported myself during the alpha that are still prevalent right now. I mean, the graphics bug. The first time it happened in alpha, I was like, hey, there's a huge graphics bug, you know, it needs to be fixed, blah, 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 blah. And I submitted it, everything, and still the same bug. So they have their work cut out for them. They have their work cut out for them. And I hope they get it under control because this is a great game. And I don't want them to ruin, this game because it has a horrible launch. I mean, yeah, I thought ESO had a fantastic launch. I didn't have any problems with it. People are like, "Oh, this launch is just as bad as ESO." Well, be that as it may, for some people, I didn't have a problem. But some people in my guild, they're not having any problems. They'll get the random disconnect, but they're getting no lag. Other than the queues, that's the only problem. My wife, she's not having the same problems I'm having, and I mean, it is what it is. Take it with a grain of salt. It is a game. People are getting upset and raging and calling death to Tron and all this stuff. And I mean, I understand it. I don't blame them. They feel ripped off, but it really isn't it really isn't that serious. So there it is. This is my initial impressions of how the Archeage launch went. Um, so we'll be doing some more videos, and I hope you enjoyed this one. This is 3rd Battalion, 8-bit co-op. I'll see you later.